without further ado, let's talk about branding and marketing. And I'd like to bring up B's marketing person, which is Arden Mc. Whoa. Oh, you're going to wait for your song. Oh, just like a woman from North Carolina would. Ladies and gentlemen, Arden McLaughlin.
Is this thing on? All right. So hi, I'm Arden. I'm a Southern belle who loves that song, and there's going to be a reason for it in a second, and there's going to be a pop quiz at the beginning. So this is me. We're going to talk about results-driven marketing. And the number one thing you've talked about today, a lot of you have talked about, is your ideal client. But when I was thinking about that when I was outside, a lot of us think we know who our ideal client is, or our ideal client looks like us, or something like that. But really, he or she may not be. You may have several ideal clients. So we're going to dig into that. But first things first, social status. This is me. Not one person got up here and gave you your Instagram, but you said to follow you on Instagram. This is how you get people to follow you on Instagram. You put it up there first thing. And that being said, because we are talking about personal branding, some of you follow me. So I'm curious if I'm hitting my mark. What do I like? If you follow me at all, what do I like? What do I talk about? This is where you talk back. Shane, what do I like? Yep. What? Pink. Who? I do like Sweet George. So good. I'm hitting my mark. So the Tar Heels. That's our theme song. That's why I did it. We just knocked it out of the park. We're in the College World Series. We beat Arizona 18-2. I am pumped. So when we talk about personal branding, you all know who I am because of what I've told you. You don't know anything I don't want you to know. You don't know I have a niece or a nephew who are the best things in the entire world. You don't know that I am a conspiracy theorist. You don't know that I love true crime and I'm going back to watch Dateline P. Diddy. You don't know that because I don't tell you. I don't tell ya. That's where we get in trouble when we're talking about our ideal clients. I want my ideal clients to know what I want them to know. Why is that? Because if they don't know who you are, they can't buy from you. And I call my 3 things that I talk about all the time, my 3 non-negotiables. If you don't want to do business with me because of these, that's cool. I'm always going to talk about my faith. Dear Lord, the Lord Jesus Christ keeps me safe because I have a mouth and a half on me. I am Southern all the way through. Saves me every day from myself. As Mike says, he died for a reason. George says that too. Number 2, I talk about my family. No, I do not talk about the kids in my family because they are really cute and I don't want anyone to steal them. Number 3, I talk about the Tar Heels. I am a Chapel Hill graduate. I love everything Tar Heels. We are very good at things, so that is helpful. Even if we weren't good at things, I would like them. Here's how you're going to figure this out. How many of you remember English class? Okay. I was a journalism major and a creative writing minor. I cannot tell you what 2 + 2 equals, but I can write the heck out of a story. There are technically 5 parts to a story. I'm going to get y'all to take a picture of this in a second, but I'm going to go into it first. There's 5 parts of story. There's settings, there's character, there's plot, there's crisis, and there's resolution. When you're developing your ideal client, the setting really doesn't matter. The setting is where you are. And the crisis doesn't matter because if you do this right, you shouldn't get into crisis. And if you get into crisis, you should call a PR agent to get you out of it. Don't handle crisis management on your own. But your characters, that's who you really want to talk to. This is where we're determining your story to reach your ideal client. Your characters is who is that target audience? We'll do an exercise in a second. Your plot is what are your PR objectives? As you're communicating, what do you want to get out? That can include, hey, I do want to send a newsletter once a week. I want to be bigger on Instagram or Facebook. I want a Facebook group. I want to be an authority on LinkedIn. Any of those, I want to be a speaker. Any of those are your plot. We're going to list that out. The resolution, what problem do you solve? And I'm going to ask a quick question about this. How many of you got into real estate because you want to help people? Everybody wants to help somebody. You got to get deeper than that. I actually don't like helping people because no one listens to me. So what I have figured out, ask these guys, none of them listen to me. What I have figured out is what I like doing is helping people discover who they are and their story, and this is how I've done it. So take a picture of this. This will also be sent to you in your portal. But if we had more time, I'd walk you through this exercise. Characters. Really and truly think about this. Who do I want to work with? And I'm going to take you through a brief exercise to help you determine this. Male or female? You don't have to say it out loud because it's going to take too long. How old are they? Are they single or married? Divorced? Widowed? How much money do they make? Are they leveling up into new houses? Or are they leveling down, downsizing into smaller houses? Do they want to just own property? Those are the basic questions you always get asked. So the next thing is, and Devin touched this a little bit too, where do they shop? Are they Gucci? Or are they really still Are they still Shein? Are they Ann Taylor Loft, Nordstrom Rack? Or are they local stores, boutiques? Are they always showing up in athletic wear? Or are they always showing up in a suit? There's no right or wrong answers because your personal brand is who you want it to be and their personal brand is who they want it to be. So you're going to align with that. Think about that person. Plot. This goes back to what do you, as an agent, outside of your brokerage or as a mortgage or any salesperson, what do you want to achieve? When you're talking about plot drives the story. It's what moves it forward. What do you want? You have to think about that. Then how do you want to get there? We at B really want to acquire more people. We want more people in our community. We want you to just be in our community so we can impact you and help you and cheer for you. Well, we've learned that right now, most of our conversions come from email. I get a 40% open rate on most of my emails, if not higher, because I'm a freaking good writer. My parents spent a lot of money at a lot of nice schools to make me a good writer. So we have to lean into what we're good at right now. We're adding social media, we're adding these different things, but all of it is the plot driven to we want more people. We want more leads, and this is how it's working. We have to build up our steps to get that. So what is your lead? And then what's the problem that you solve? And it's got to be more than helping people because every one of your people needs to be helped. Phil and I were talking yesterday. We have 133 people move into Charlotte every day. I don't know about Phil, but I don't know if I want to work with all those people. Some of them may tell me I talk wrong, and they are wrong. They talk wrong. Parker Posey taught us how people talk on the White Lotus, and I am right. So she did. She told y'all. So you've got to figure that out, and then you put it all together to determine your story, because ultimately, it's your story and what you're putting out there that is going to draw people to you, right? So here's who I am. How do we put this into practice? I generally tend to work with startups plus small to mid-sized businesses. I work with educated people because I am a snob. And I just like people that like to learn. I'm always learning and I want people that like to learn. If you can't tell, I'm very passionate and I like dreamers. So that's my target audience. My PR objective has always been to narrow those dreams into more focused goals that match that specific audiences to tell that story. And then I define you in a cluttered marketplace so you can get in front of the right audiences who will buy from you. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, especially now that Elon and Trump are fighting, we have to make more money, right? Like they're just fighting over nonsense, but we still got to make money. People have to buy from you, and you've got a lot of competition, but you've got the people that are supposed to come to you. So this is it. My story is I perfect and publicize your unique, marketable story, and I teach you how to tell your own story. I was never the PR person that wanted to be on covers. I was on TV for a long time doing book reviews, and that was fine. But I always wanted other people to get on covers, and whatever that cover looked like. You have to figure out what that is for you. Who do you want? What do you want? What do you want as a realtor, as a mortgage lender, as any other kind of sales professional? What do you want to give people? And then you're going to start to attract the right people. And why does this matter? Because ultimately, our brains are wired for story. They're wired to remember a story. You all will remember me now because I told you the story about Carolina beating Arizona 18-2 and playing jump around and walked in here, and that's the story I already crafted for you. What is the story you want people to remember? And then you create goals off of that story, right? I want to get more sales. I want to hit 17 million this year. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to do enough so you can chase another dream. Some of you want to speak more. You've got a story, you want to tell it, and you want to get in front of more people. All right, start making moves towards that. And if you want to speak more, you need to be on Instagram and be on Facebook and be on YouTube and doing all those things. If one more person comes to me and says, I want to speak, but you don't have a speaker reel and you don't do this on a regular basis, you don't want to speak. You want to speak in theory, but you do not want to do it in practice. You got scolded. Position yourself as an expert because no one knows who you are if you're not positioning yourself as an expert. Again, I cannot do 2 + 2 = 4 or 5. I don't know. In kindergarten, I made up a number. But I can get you excited about who you are. And that's one of the struggles that most of us have is we're not actually excited about who we are. And that's probably why you don't get online. And that's why you don't get in front of people or you don't do those community connections. Who you are is enough. And you've got to get comfortable with who you are is enough. Nobody's perfect, even though you're chasing perfectionism. Because ultimately you want to oh, thanks. That's what you get for praying before you come up and not cussing. That's the Lord gave me that. And create brand loyalty, right? It's more creating brand loyalty is everything you've seen up here from B is same color, same font, same hive that has to go a certain way to all of us are true to who we are. We dress how we want to dress and how our people want to dress. If you want to, and I will tell you, I dress because I am Southern. I am always in something bougie. I may be balling on a budget, but it's still who I am. If you're not that person, don't dress like that person. I used to have clients all the time. I live in Myers Park in Charlotte. They wanted to wear this. They desperately wanted to wear this, and they wanted to put Golden Goose sneakers on it, and they wanted to do it all, and they looked dumb. And if they just leaned into who they were, it was so much easier. This is what I wear, whether it's in style or not. Be you. All right, this is how you turn your story into business for you. Once you've gotten comfortable with you and telling it, you have to decide how you want to reach people. Do you want to be a local, regional, or national person? There's media. We haven't talked about media today. I'm happy to talk to you about PR outside of this. There's some ways for you all to use press releases and media relations for higher numbers. There's tricks around this for your higher level, $1 million and over people doing press releases. Do you want to be known in media? Do you want to do more podcasts? Do you want to be an expert? There's ways to get your name out there without hiring a PR team. Social media. I've talked about this a long time, but there's influencers and there's impactors. So how many of you watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? And they're all influencers. And I don't know what their influence is except a lot of drama. They don't make me want to buy anything. But there's local people. Like I told you earlier, I used to talk about books. I was an impactor on books for 10, 15 years in Charlotte because I talked about books on TV. I ran a literacy program. I did all the things, which was a detriment because I stopped doing it and I had to rebrand myself. But I was an impactor on that. We talked yesterday in the VIP session about really getting clear about who you are. You don't have to have a huge 200,000 followers to be an impactor in your area. You just have to be good, back to that niche of who you are. Other outlets to consider, because every time people get up here, they go, every time I teach this class, and I teach it in the first thing in the morning, and they go, any questions? How do I get famous on Instagram? Well, do you want to get on camera? No. Do you want to hire a professional photographer? No. Then you don't want to be famous on Instagram. There are lots of other ways to do this. Again, newsletters, podcasts, start your own, get on other podcasts. There's ways to pitch yourself to get on podcasts and community partnerships. When I tell you partnering with strategic people who really like you and want to do business with you, all of that, if we go back, I like to go back a lot to this. This is the key to all of it. If they align with this, they align with you. That's how you find the right partnerships for yourself. They align in there. So take a picture of this, print it out, do some work on it tonight, and really start to think about where is your alignment, okay? That's how you find those. And how does it work? Knowing who you are, plus who needs to know you, and how to be the best you is really that formula to being very successful as you market yourself. So we're going to take a little bit of a pause because I want to ask, this helps me a little bit, who in this room is super comfortable being on camera? So not many of you. Okay, who in this room spends a lot of time looking at a video that you did, Kevin, and just lets it sit there, but it's really good and really helpful, but you don't post it for whatever reason? Who else does that? 100% I do that. Raise your hand. Why? And you can tell me why you don't. This is what? Fear? It's not good enough? What? Okay, what are people going to think about you? They are so mean. But you know what? That is a way to get rid of they're not your target audience. The number one thing that if you're afraid to post something, you go back to thinking about that person you're really trying to impact. He or she needs to hear it that day. Sweet George, that Phil mentioned earlier, has a terrible ex-wife. She is mean as a snake. And I posted something recently about relationships because we talk about relationships and how it heals. She went to him and said, my people are going to know she's talking about me. She's going to ruin my name in Davidson. And I said, well, George, nobody knows who she is and nobody knows who I am, so it doesn't matter. And also, the street she lives off is named after my great-grandfather, who was the mayor of Davidson. So if we're trying to beat Davidson, I'm going to beat Davidson. We don't act like that. And I don't post for fear of what his ex-wife is going to say, because, Lord, she going to say something. She got a lot of opinions, and none of them matter to me, because she's not my target audience. That's who you have to think about. That fear of posting, I don't care. I unfollowed somebody today. She used to do recipes, and they were great. Now she sits in front of the camera and eats. Just eats. I don't want to see that. So I unfollowed her. 20 people commented how they did not like her content. It's her choice what she wants to do. If y'all don't want to see her eat, unfollow. Same for y'all. If they don't want to see you lift weights, if people don't want to see me talk about the Tar Heels, if they're giant Duke fans or they hate all of sports balls, I don't care. It is my page, and I want to reach the people. And this is not an ego thing. I want to reach the people that need to know that they're good enough. I want to reach the people that know that Jesus loves them. I want to reach the people that want coaching and they want to get better at PR and they want to just feel good about themselves and feel reassured. So anybody else, they do not matter to me. They don't. And that might sound ugly and mean. And I'm 46 and I'll be 47 in a few weeks and I don't care anymore because I only have so much more time left before the Botox wears off and the menopause kicks in and nobody wants to watch me anymore because I'm ugly and fat. And that is my own insecurity. Okay? Did I go backwards? Here's how you do it. You choose the platforms you want to be on. You don't need to be on everything. Everybody who tells you you need to be everywhere is wrong. You go back to that slide that I told you and go, where is my ideal audience hanging out? They may be on Instagram, they may be on TikTok, or they may be on LinkedIn, or they may be at the local women's chapter that meets once a week that you got to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go do. They may be there. But until you know who you want to work with, not who you're currently working with, but who you want to work with, that when they call you on Saturday and you don't want to be bothered on Saturday, but you're going to answer the email on Saturday or the text message, you're not that mad. You're a little mad, but you're not that mad because you want to work with them and you want to see them get better. Messages. Choose the right message for the right platform. And I'm going to add on, stop using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not good. It is helpful, and Lee's going to tell you how to use it right. But if you just copy and paste and put on ChatGPT, on Instagram, and on Facebook, and on LinkedIn, it's got a lot of emojis, everyone knows you did it, and they don't want to read it. People are nosy. They want to read about you, so choose the message, and choose it correctly. Facebook, you can do a little bit more long form. Instagram and TikTok, you're trying to capture an audience. We are very, like Shivani said, we are very, very overwhelmed with information. I cannot curate my Instagram for the life of me, and I try to all the time. There's so much junk coming at me all the time, so we have to stand out for that junk. Figure out what you want to do. Calendar. I've talked about calendars a lot today. Choose when you want to share your message, and the best way to do that is to go and look at your stats. Once you start posting enough, you got to build up some content. Just post, schedule it, whatever you want to do. See when people engage with you the most. All of your platforms will start to tell you this is the best time to post, this is the best time to post. Post then. Everyone's audience is different. That's why knowing your audience is so important. You got to know them because then you know when they're hanging out, okay? This is why I do it. Your story matters. When you find it, own it. That's the hard part. When you find it, own it, and define it is when your personal story turns to professional success. Here's the deal. A year ago, a lot of you are struggling right now. A year ago, in March of last year, this little cute thing had to move back in with her mom and daddy. I'd made some bad business decisions, and I was paying too much on rent, and I basically had a mental breakdown. I lost a bunch of friends. I had a lot of crap. I wanted to cry. I was so embarrassed because I like being right and independent and cute and all the things. Do not want to live with my mom and my daddy telling me, Arden, what you doing up there? Arden. I don't. My daddy texted me today and said, what you doing? Are you safe? Yes. Yes. But I had to. I wasn't going to go into more debt. That made no sense for me. And I lost a lot of business. I made some bad business connections that I thought were going to work out. And I just started working. Because my story is always I'm going to succeed. And I'm going to succeed with things that work right and people that work right. Not going to work with people that don't have integrity. I made that promise to myself a couple years ago. Stop doing that because money's not that important. I remember having no money and returning checks to people because I didn't want that energy. I do believe money is a transfer of energy, and there's some money that is just not good money. And I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. Some of you out there right now are just going, what the heck, this $100, what am I going to do? I paid $100, I paid $200, I paid $500, whatever you paid, because you had to come here and all the things you had to do. The only thing, if you left with anything today, it would be to keep going because your story matters. Somebody needs it. Somebody has to know it. There's somebody who's going to buy their first house, and they're just going to have the same story as I do. I live with my mom and daddy. Now I live with them because I'm lazy and don't want to go look for anything, so that sounds like work. And I am seeing that they need some help, but I'll move somewhere close to them. I've got to be an adult again. But I really do. God, they're annoying. It's really hard, though. They're in their 70s. They probably only have like 20 years left because we all live forever, I'm telling you. My grandmother died at 101. But I want you to know that you're still here. You're here because it matters, and you've got to keep going, keep grinding. Because my mission is very simple. I want to make PR easy and doable for you. This is very easy. This is very doable. We can talk about it later. So that you're not wasting time and money doing all the things. Because if your P&L shows you're doing 50% of your money is being spent on marketing, and that marketing is not pulling you anything, is not getting you leads, is not getting you the right people, you're still getting followed by bots, readjust that. Take the time to sit down and figure out who you want to talk to. Because you really should only spend about 10 or 20%, whatever the marketing looks like, flyers or whatever. But it needs to go to the right people. It just has to. I want you to get focused on what is most effective for your brand. Because you can't do this all day. And that's it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Arden.
Good job.
One of my favorites. I do believe that branding is an essential part of a business. You have to define the brand, you have to define your tone, you have to define your voice. And by doing so, people that need your help will find you. The other thing you have to do is you have to get out there. You have to be seen because there are too many large companies that are going to spend billions of dollars over the next few years trying to get that audience attention. And their sell isn't going to be use me because I care about you. Their sell is going to be use me because I'm going to make it efficient and inexpensive. Just so you all know, in business, a commodity is purchased typically because of price, which means if every real estate agent, every loan officer provides the exact same service, everything's the same, and God, loan officers deal with it every day. We're starting to deal with it a lot after August, 15th or 17th? You become commoditized. The only way that Gucci can sell shoes for $930 is they have made them exclusive. And it didn't just happen. They let everybody know how exclusive they are. You can do this yourself. You simply have to provide value. The easiest way to do it is with social media. Fidel, you back there? If you're afraid of social media, call Fidel. He's here in Reno, and he will walk you through, what do you say, 30 minutes, an hour? An hour. And he will help you shoot reels. We did it for the VIPs that attended yesterday. And what did you guys think? Pretty good? Pretty amazing, right? Kevin's got a reel that's going to come out that is going to blow up. I mean, blow up.